Hello and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. I'm Luce, and tonight I figure I'd just chill out and use the Aether Compass to find basically just locate all the Aether Currents and unlock flight in all the zones. And during it I'll just kind of look back and think about the expansion a bit. I haven't had too much time to sleep on and such. At the same time, I did this with Endwalker, so I figure, you know, why not? It's probably gonna be more of a chill-out grind type stream, since this is just busy work, so up to you if you want to have something in the background. I should hopefully not get anything jump scaring me. And obviously there's going to be a lot of spoilers for the game because I've completed the story, I've done everything, I'm just going to keep going, and yeah, I've still need to get Red Mage up. Pictomancer has taken all my casting powers. I should be visible soon with that. Oh, you know, I bet it's on one of these. Ah, yep, there it is. I also figure this would be a nice, relaxing one to do without worrying about any real commitments because, Northwest. Actually, maybe we should just teleport over here and see where it says. It's probably going to be along the river, isn't it? I doubt it's going to be on top of these because I don't think keyword think there's going to be a way to get there without flight. Guess I'll find out, won't I? I see, it's about halfway. Ooh, lookouts. Lookouts in the expansions are way less frustrating than ones in Realm Reborn, because ones in Realm Reborn often require a specific time, not only a specific time of day like these, but there. Marsh Sagak. The sluggish currents of the marsh are fed by the waters of the river. Its depths are crowded with aquatic grasses. Vibrant clusters are said to be a result of fluctuation in temperature and empty ether. Yeah. They require not only time of day like some of the ones in expansion areas, but also certain weather patterns. So you could sometimes be waiting days at a time if you miss a weather pattern. It's probably on that. Oh, I can go underwater here. Neat. Ooh, so that island there is interesting. Imagine Quest or something will have us go down here, but eventually, but oh yeah, it's up here on this island. I guess I should start backwards since that's the thing that comes to mind. Sphene was definitely one of my favorite, actually one of my favorite villains general. I guess because like Emmett, so you can kind of see where she's coming from. I get that she was intended as basically an evil version of Wuk-Lamat, since she does have charisma and love, genuine charisma and love for her people, but in this case, northeast. But in this case, it was a twisted form of love and affection. I guess in that way you could also see her as kind of the opposite of Medion, the end singer of Endwalker, who wanted to end pain and misery by basically doing the Frenzied Flame ending from Elden Ring. I guess is the comparison most would recognize. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, Sphene wanted to prevent death and the pain of loss through eternal life. Sphene's plan was definitely doomed from the start. We even see the living memory was basically supposed to be a heaven on Earth of sorts, but it was decaying. Oh yeah, I forgot to turn in the quest, but I did do the EX mission there. But I guess it proves that, yeah, it's just not sustainable. Well, even the people there said that not everyone can manifest at a time. So... yeah, I probably want to go down the waterfall, so let's go this way. Everything was kind of doomed from this. Alright. Because it wasn't even the immortality in the way that... Ah, crap. I was kind of hoping they'd repair this in the post-game area. Actually, I should be able to teleport one of these areas, right? Yeah, Okanu. We'll go over here. Either way, it looks like none left on this side of the map, so we should be able to do the rest here. Oh. Purely west, huh? Alright, let's go that way then. Give XP to the red mage. I could also give it to the healer, but I haven't been leveling healer. My gear is completely outdated. Right, I need to do the quests here that unlock, unlock wind currents. Alright, so it's House of Winds High. Probably at the top of that if I had to wager. Now, seeking life in the cloud server is definitely a bit easier to vibe with compared to Medion's just frenzied flame ending plan. So I can definitely see why some might think Sphene actually had a good idea. Yep. Oh. Not here, but there's a lookout. House of Winds High. One atop the treehouse, the House of Winds makes its name from a state said to exist in the Hanoi's traditions. Practitioners of wind magic live here as part of the unique training. We learn to glide down from dizzying heights. Before the breeze skims through these treetops, merely tickle my feathers. Now it's possibly dancing with joy. Well, we're gonna have to fall here. Wee splat. There it is. It was right behind here the whole time. Yeah, Sphene was getting to know us and all that because, like Clement, even if she has to fight someone, she'd rather know about them from first. That way she knows, even though she doesn't like it, she wants to at least know them before they're gone. And on that note, I do appreciate how, during the final boss fight, when she restored herself for a moment, I was wondering if she'd ask us to save her from herself, but no, she stood by. I don't care how awful this is. I must save my people at all costs. To an extent, she was indeed forced to do what she was doing because she was, as a computer program of memory, she had to follow her programming, which in a way is also, again, kind of like Medion, simply because by virtue of... Don't tell me. Ah, of course it's up here. At least Earthenshire is not too hard to go here from. Here. Now moving backwards. Gerald Za I keep getting his name wrong, so at this point I'm just leaning into it. Figure's a pretty straightforward villain, but I guess after letting it settle for a while, I realized I understand him a bit better than expected. And not necessarily in a good way. Well, I guess that's a bit vague. West. Yeah, so it's in here. Ah, so the ruins I was at earlier. Basically, he was set. His mental state was, from what I'm getting, is that by and large, from the fact that nothing would ever be good enough. He was the impossible son of a father, so he had to see himself as finally superior. However, by the end it became clear that nothing that he would do would satisfy him. Even if he defeated his father at the peak there, he'd find an excuse. Oh, that doesn't count. That was just an illusion. The true father was always stronger. Even if he defeated Wuklamant and the others, say, oh, they don't count. Father was always greater. Even if he defeated us, the Warrior of Light, he'd have just gone, oh, it doesn't matter. The father was stronger. If it sounds like it's impossible to satisfy, that's kind of the problem, yeah. Because he actually did accomplish quite a bit. He raised an entire kingdom and gave it the biggest army, the greatest army it's ever seen. He had a child of his own, and yeah, by and large, ran a completely successful country, and yet he couldn't appreciate any of it because none of it was good enough. Bluntly, it would never be. So. And depressing as it is to say, jolt. Yeah, he even just had his son in the first place for the sole reason. The sole purpose of well, I had a child, that's an accomplishment or something like that, and that's probably why he abandoned him afterward. And he probably even had some regrets on it, hence why he chose to leave things to him, even though he didn't have to. Well, as much as he said he doesn't care, his son was the only illusion which he hesitated to destroy. Right, I came here for a reason, I missed it. Southwest, so it's you're below the recommended level. Well, that sucks. It's over here somewhere, I guess. Oh, I see. Born on the backs of Burwood. I see, I have to go through here. That's gonna be a bit of a pain. I might have to do this on level cap jobs. I was gonna do it because I'm probably gonna have to explore and unlock new stuff, so I figured Red Mage getting the experience would be a good idea, but that might not be as feasible as I was hoping. And the fact absolutely nothing is here is suspicious. There it is. Yeah, there's probably a hunt target or a quest that goes here, possibly even a fate boss. Yeah, it's weird. He had a superiority complex in the fact that he was the only blood relative of the great Galul Jaja, but he also had an inferiority complex in that nothing he ever did would ever be good enough. So he saw himself a failure, even though he did genuinely accomplish quite a few things on his own. I also think his battle theme was one of my favorites. Him and Sphene definitely continue the theme of songs that are way better than they have any right to be. I think it was a bit of mix of SMT and Yakuza for what came to mind. And I mean that in the best possible way. Now, it was obvious that Zarul Zaja was Well, from the start, Jaja openly admitted that none of his children and Clements were any good, and he was hoping they'd change up. So, but Jirul was definitely. Jajuru was the one who refused to have any help. The only one he brought was one specifically to keep an eye on him, basically, and refused help otherwise. So he never got to interact with others. He just kind of did everything, being on his own. So of course he couldn't grow. He didn't have anyone. This was even beyond that echo chamber meme. He basically didn't have anyone but himself the whole time. Yeah, probably gonna have to go around here. I did say, hey, I'd like to found Bakul rather interesting. Oh, hello, Thorn Knight. Minecraft. I hope you had a good time there. Welcome, welcome. I'm just talking a bit about the main story to Dawntrail while collecting wind currents so that I can unlock flight in these areas. I might even do the quest on my own later, if we're honest, just because this isn't really working. Alright. Wow, that's a really long time. Is this the one that's detected all that time? Right, this is the one I reported. I had teleported all the way over to Okanu in order to do in the first place. Whoops. Yeah, I knew that there were some split opinions on the expansion, but I didn't realize just how split they were until later. Even among my own friends and FC mates, it's definitely a pretty big variety of opinions. It's which ones are good, which ones aren't, what worked, what didn't. Went through the objectives and learned of a new availability. Ooh. Congrats. Here then. I'm pretty sure what's separating here is a water. The dark spot here is a water and not a mountain. And if it's water, I can just swim across it. If it's a mountain, then it's screwed. I have to go around. Oh, Loki, welcome to the stream. Fell in the water. My mounts don't learn how to swim until I unlock flight in the area. In which case, I guess they use flight instead of, yeah. There's my pace. Wonder I didn't post. Oh. Should be around here somewhere. 100. Yeah, it should be visible at this rate. Poison frogs. Gotta be wary. Time for snacks. Sounds like a plan. There it is. Quick copy. Ah. Another one to the east, I see. We shall head off to the undefeated of the east. That's rather big for an ocelot. They also are good at paralyzing with cuteness. As I predicted, it seems like how much you like Dawntrail's story is going to depend pretty much entirely on what you think of Wilclamot, since ultimately it is her story, and the player character is just there for the ride. I enjoyed it, but I can also understand and respect why people don't. It's because, yeah, she's credited with the major victories. It's largely her pushing the story around. I do admit I wish they had done a bit more of having the player character act as guide, since Galul had pulled aside and said had to help her learn a bit more. And she's not the only one who suffers from this. Kana also kind of doesn't have much because they wanted to hide who Euron, Jay, and Thancred were working for in the expansion. Alright, so this area is complete. I just have to do the quests later and we're good. Actually, I can do this. Aether Currents. Here we are. Yeah, I just need to do a couple quests and this one's done. So, Urkapaka's next. We'll go to Warlord's Echo since that's a good starting spot, I think. Here we are. The north. This is a pretty mountainous area, so I imagine once I get flight, it'll be significantly easier to navigate in the general sense. Heavensward also had this a lot because Heavensward takes place in a largely mountain biome. So there was a lot of verticality and stuff that was a bit of a pain to get around if you didn't unlock flight yet. Did mean you would appreciate all the more once you unlocked it at least. I did mention I liked how Bakul was the biggest asshole in the competition, but then actually took loss of the grace. However, a friend of mine did point out, and I think they made a good point, that while he didn't hurt anyone directly, it can't really be overlooked that he released Villargamanda, because Villargamanda was a supposedly immortal monster that would probably lay waste to the entire countryside. He seemed to be under the assumption we would be able to kill it, but he had no way of knowing we'd do so before it did any major damage. As far as he knew, it could have wiped out the area, half the area before we stopped it. So yeah, that was a bit much to just forgive him for. Still, he did take it better than the first promise Rule did. Since, like I said, he has this weird both superiority and inferiority complex. How is this here? Oh, I'm going east, not west. Well, that's embarrassing. Clearly, I don't know my west from my east. So yeah, I do like our character acting more as a mentor role, but it was really hit or miss because, while Wicklemot does ask us for advice here and there, it's not particularly often. It's primarily her pushing the story around. I'm pretty sure it's going to be on top of the mountain here. Yeah, it's over here, isn't it? Probably even hidden. Yeah. There it is. Stop it. Here's why we're here. Jarul's son. It is kind of funny they never mention who the mother is. Granted, I get that's an issue with fiction in general, where if only one particular parent is relevant, they'll usually just ignore the other one outright. I thought it might have been Sphene, but that can't be due to story reasons. So, my guess is she wasn't plot important, so they just kind of left it. Kind of like how the protagonist in a JRPG often has a parent that helps them out, but the other one isn't commented on. Like, I don't think Chrono Trigger ever mentions Chrono's dad. You just have his mom acting in the usual RPG mom role. 44 yalms. Alright, we just have to go straight up from here. Ah, you know what? I bet it's by that tower. I'm definitely going to be streaming when I do the role quest. I haven't done any of those yet, but I think it'll be fine for the moment. I was mostly really doing EX dungeon stuff to try and work out. Yep, I knew it was here. To get all that in order. It's not going to be huge until the cap tomes get added, though. but it's whatever, I think. For now, the artifact gear will cover me. Right, let's use this here. Northwest. In that case, I'm probably better off teleporting over here. There we are. Yeah, these pluses are the ones that have Aether Currents, but I'll get those off stream on my own. I definitely do like a lot of the fights that have been introduced here. Oh, the alpacas are completely docile. That's adorable. Here we are. Probably didn't need to go this way. Whoops. Oh well, I'll just go this way then. There. There. I will admit that these locales didn't get too interesting until the later half of the expansion. North. Oh, maybe I did need to be up there. Yeah, it's gonna be a ways up here. Actually, it looks like it was right next to the city, and I didn't even realize that. Huh. Neat. it was neat. Alright. When I looked it up, it did turn out that, yeah, Solution 9 and Homecoming are the home... heritage found, and Solution 9 were some of the more visually interesting areas, so that's probably why they decided to use those in the promo material. The place clearly based off Nevada and Texas was a bit interesting in and of itself, since it was very clearly a different type of desert biome than, say, Thonolin. But northeast, there we are. But some of the forests, and even the mountain area of the giants, they weren't as visually interesting, if we're honest. So yeah, I'd say the second half was areas are significantly stronger than the first half. Yep, there it is. It's got to be up here. Yep, there it is. Here we are. And let's see here. Completely across, huh? I'm probably gonna have to go around here, so we'll go down the path and do it that way. Yeah, it did suck taking out living memory like that. I mean, even if you go back, when I went back now in order to do this quest here, it was still really depressing because everything's black and dead there. Heaven on Earth, it was meant to be grant eternal life to the people living there, and we had to shut down. Don't get me wrong, it did need to be shut down. It was made clear even by the story quests there, or that it's falling apart. It's they can't sustain the people fading out regularly. They're ultimately just echoes of the people who once lived. They tried to emulate the sort of immortality that the ancients had, but they never even got close. It was just decaying. Actually, if we take this quest, it was actually even larger, but they had to downsize just because they couldn't support it and it wasn't even working. Alright, so yeah, it's gonna be on... Alright, on the west. Okay, so it's on top of this mountain here. So I'll have to go around. I know she's controversial though, but I'm kind of disappointed that Wuklamad is not a trust character. I thought, now I could understand they left her out because they probably wanted to make you wonder if she actually had plot armor or whatever they might see her end before the story concludes. But, crap. I need to go all the way down here to go up there, don't I? Darn it. Oh, I can show the trust here. Here, Dawntrail. Yeah, as you can see, there's the only change from the Endwalker Trust is that Kryl is now a member. And incidentally, that does mean it's going to be a bit of a pain to level it if you're not regularly doing tanks and healers, because that means there's a lot, the DPS outnumber everything else. Wuklamad would have made it so that there's 2 tanks, 2 healers, a bunch of DPS, and Graha who can fill in for anything. Would have felt like it. But as of now, poor Thancred's been the only dedicated tank trust for 3 expansions now, poor guy. And I say dedicated, mind you, so. And as a reminder, I said dedicated, because I know Graha can be anything, so if we're bringing him and not Thancred, he'll usually be the healer or tank. Hopefully the next expansion will give us a tank trust, but yeah. I get Wuklamad would have probably, they might have thought, well, maybe we shouldn't add her because she'll just be here for 1 expansion, but actually I can show it here, this here as well. What's this? Reen, Oracle of Light. She is only playable for Shadowbringer's Trust. She is not present for the others because she's not in the story there. Isn't that interesting? But yeah, I absolutely think that was a missed opportunity on their part. Oh, southeast. Ah, there it is. Southeast. Would it be easier to just teleport to Wachimpelo? Let's do that. I did look up a bit of the guides on the EX trials, and they do look like they've got a lot of fun things. Oh, I guess if people are doing that fate, I should join in. Not a huge deal, I guess. West. Ah, purely west from here. Interesting. Alright, should be pretty easy. After I get this done, that is. I should be able to use this rock to get up here, I think. Yeah. Shadowbringer. There we are. It's not much, but it's something. Anyways, we are due to east. West. West, yes. West. The next jobs I'm leveling. Well, I'm probably going to do Dancer for my range DPS job. I've heard it's actually a little low. Pretty low, even counting the support it offers. But usually there's a bunch of, when an expansion drops, there's a whole bunch of balance patches before going to the big stuff later, so there'll probably be some minor adjustments here and there. Alright, so this way it is. Huh, funny, I wondered if maybe Endwalker would end up the Stormblood, but it seems this one is, especially since we're partnered up with a NPC ally where how much you like the story depends pretty much entirely on how much you like that particular character. But the gameplay is generally well liked. Try to avoid looking up too many content creator opinions to avoid messing with my own too much. There we are, southwest. Oh yeah, I should probably do these, huh? Here we are. Here. South. That's this way. Domesticated alpaca and the pet. Let's avoid the mountain bears then, shall we? Grab. I think this might be the last one in the area. South. Oh, that's a whole way on the other side. Alrighty. It's not too bad, though. I just have to be wary because these are actual mountains blocking the way, so I can't go through them like I can the, you know, the water that requires swimming. Doesn't look like I can go through there, so I guess I'm gonna have to go this way. I'll just go the long way around, I guess. Shouldn't be too bad. See, I believe the 24-player raid coming in the .1 patch was already said to be a Final Fantasy XI throwback. And I know they announced what the Savage raids are, the 8-player raids, and I forgot already. Oh, so it is in there. Then how do I get there? Darn it. So yeah, I need to get behind the temple somehow, but I'm not sure how I'm supposed to be going about that. Darn it. supposed to go here? Am I supposed to go in the temple? Let's take a look. What's in the temple? No, I can't go through the temple. That would have been too easy, wouldn't it? But yeah, it's clearly has to be in this area, but how do I get there from here? Invaders inflict serious wounds, but Dawn serves no strange trials of faithful overcoming hardships. In the coming years, I believe Karazar the Gracious may become a place dedicated to teaching the young heroes who laid the Skyrim low. With the solid present Glon may truly enjoy years of peace and prosperity. So how am I supposed to get back there? Yeah, there's no way to go through here. All I can do is go around and hope there's another way or there's another path. Like, I do see the one's part is obscured, so there could be a path through there. No, there has to be, because I clearly checked the front of the temple. There's no way to just walk around. I have to go this way. Mildly frustrating. We'll figure something out. That's where I'd put the Dawntrail main story. I guess we'll see if, I guess I'd put it above Stormblood and Realm Reborn, but below Shadowbringers and Endwalker, which puts it middle of the road. I know the obvious one is complaint is I might be putting it too high, but yeah, that's a kind of funny thing about the middle of the road. It usually gets pretty... Ah, here we are. I think this might be it. Or no. Oh. This might be right then. Oh, I see here the Chiwarga, the enemy faction. I guess this pretty much confirms we're going to be getting a tribal quest for the Giants, and we'll be going through this area. Then again, that usually... we actually haven't had a tribal quest with an evil faction for quite a while now that I think about it. They've pretty much always been self-contained stories unrelated. Like, there was no evil Leporits. There was some that were pretty depressed and existential... Well, feeling pretty existential, but that's not quite the same thing now, is it? Interesting. Is it in here? Is it enshrined? Yep, there it is. There's the fields. I think that's all for this area. Yep, that's all for this area. So, Aether Currents. Yaktel time. This one seems to have the least of anyone, because yeah, I only have one, so this is the least complete of any. This is also where things might be getting tough. I might have to start swapping over to a, I'm gonna have to swap to my level cap job just to be sure I don't, you know, get killed. I'm not really... I don't have any, anything between 90 and 100 anymore. They're either at 90 or 91 or 100. No in between. East. Okay. There we are. Could be that I will fully admit I might be being nicer to the story than I probably should be, since Well, after the Endwalker, I knew that there's not much they could really do that could top something like that. This next story can't possibly have the level of build-up that Endwalker did, since they've been working towards it for... Well, technically it was... They set up everything for it in Shadowbringers, but it did make sure to incorporate stuff from the previous expansions as well. So it was a pretty big deal. I even streamed it myself. It's not... So, yeah, I was pretty excited. I even named it possibly my favorite expansion story. It just depends on... It's one of the... Although, I guess it's one of those things that changes based on my mood, so... Southwest. Darn squirrel enemies. It's down here, isn't it? Yeah, there it is. Even so, I wasn't one of those people who hated Cormier in Guild Wars 1. So I guess I don't mind if my character is a support character to the main protagonist. I mean, I liked Final Fantasy X, and despite how much Tidus keeps saying, you know, this is my story, no, it's really not. It's definitely Yuna's story, since... Granted, he does have a very large impact on her story, but I'd still say she's the main protagonist of Final Fantasy X. And that was definitely a story that resonated with me. Learning that she doesn't have to sacrifice herself to be valuable to people. Alright, so it's probably on the shore here. It cannot be in the water, so it must be on the other side of the shore. I was about to get worried for a moment, but then I was all, oh. Oh, yeah, you can't fight in water in this game. This is not like Warcraft where you can fight underwater. That's, for better or for worse, that is not how things work here. Oh. It's on top of this stupid thing. Alright, I'll go around there. I do appreciate that we finally got 3 EX stages for this EX roulette. I don't remember the last time that happened. We just had been stuck at 2 for here in Shadowbringers. I don't even remember Stormblood anymore. I think we had 3 in Stormblood, but it was 2 for EX roulette in Shadowbringers and Endwalker, which was a little disappointing, not gonna lie there. Ah, Pure East. Sounds good to me. Southeast. Alright. I should probably stay in the upper areas. Then again, maybe it will be below. Find out. Crap, not a piranha. I think it's up here. There it is. Tricky little bugger. Yeah. These feel like they're hiding behind stuff a bit more, or maybe it just feels that way because it's been so long. Since I've been keeping up with expansions, I really only have to do 1 per expansion and we're in good shape. Okay, yeah, this one's gonna take a bit. The Cinder Field is a whole lot of nothing, so I best, take my time with it. That lantern, I was gonna say, is that lantern an enemy? No, those don't... Yeah, that's someone's mount. Yeah, you can see them piloting it inside. I believe that was a Halloween reward, but I wasn't here during that Halloween. I was on a break then. I did like that the Cinder Field was here, as well as the Blue Forest down, because otherwise I genuinely found this one of the least interesting areas until I saw those. So they did do a good job of salvaging it. And I think it's mostly after that things got a lot more interesting. Because even the level 95 dungeon, where it started going from the old-timey stuff to, Oh, it's in this area. Yeah, this is beautiful. It reminded me of Erenville or whatever it was from the Warcraft Shadowlands expansion, because that was hands down my favorite area in terms of visual aesthetics. This may not take place in the afterlife, but it certainly has a lot of themes around it. I still do think it was paced rather a lot better in terms of story, but I do think the most interesting areas are the late blooming areas. I see. It's in the tunnel system. That's gonna be a mighty bit annoying. Come on, you. Oh, there we are. Rear mount. Yeah, I think the next year I'm gonna have to switch to Reaper or Picto, simply because I can't use a low-level character in those areas. This is already a 95 area, so if something catches me, my red mage is absolutely flattened like a pancake. It's alright, that's just how it is. You know, wouldn't it be funny if the next expansion had a tank and a healer, no DPS? I know they can't do that because, well, let's be real here, DPS is what sells half these expansions. But nonetheless, it would be interesting. For once, DPS queues might not be horrendous. Then again, I guess when that happens, you just use the trusts, and that's what I did on stream even, so... It's not like that isn't an option. Can I go through here? Not without flight, it looks like. But I guess that's to be a hint as to the blue areas you'll go to next. Actually, I guess that's a clever place in that situation. I also should probably be turning off my name tag if we're honest, because as we saw, that got in the way of talking to some NPCs and stuff, but I do like my Makai Master title. I might even earn some of the others. Since I PvP a good bit, I actually have a decent amount of progress on the achievement stuff. If you're one of those people who loves achievements, there's a ton of PvP ones actually, and they've been around for quite a while. Some of which aren't even around anymore. So it's gonna be on top here, isn't it? Yep, there it is. There we are. There we are. Yeah, that's entirely in that area. The spawning. That's level 94. I'm way too low of level to do it unless another player is already there doing it. That's gonna be a bit, so you know what, let's just heal up and let's just repair all my gear and I'll switch to Picto or something. Alright, it's in this building. I am no good at shops even when they blatantly advertise. Reaper then. Wait, no, Actually, yeah, Reaper. Check it out. I decided to paint my scythe to make it fit my outfit a lot better, and I honestly think it looks a lot better now. Don't you think? Right, the glam's changed. Alright, we get the Final Fantasy 16 theme out of this. Right. Collections. Aether Compass. Alright, here we are. Southeast. Should be pretty easy to find here. Yeah, even the enemies look pretty. Here north, eh? Grove. I do think the reveal about the Blessed Siblings was sufficiently screwed up, but also pretty memorable. It's something that hadn't been really explored before. So they could have done a lot of things with it. But yeah, I guess when my buddy brought up that he was forgiven too quickly before he did, I do think that actually was a valid complaint. Because unleashing Vilgarmada is not something we should just be, you know, forgiven for getting that easily. Oh, it's on the other side of the tree, isn't it? It has to be nearby. Yep, it's around this tree. Or at least it should be. There it is. That's weird. Usually it's a lot higher up. I guess it's in the middle of an arch, so thematically it fits. Like the one that was in the arch inside the building in Living Memory. Yeah, after playing through Stink content, did you get stuff like Gunbreaker and Dark Knight up, I realized just why I enjoyed Pictomancer so much. You get your Moogle combo level 30 and your Hammer Stamp at 50, so basically you get all your big nukes as early as the Realm Reborn content, so even when synced, you'll usually still feel like you have your most important tools. South, got it. Whee! Slam. Splat. Oh, it's on top of that, isn't it? Ah, no, there it is. Probably easy to miss with the crystal right next to it. Clever, clever. Clever clogs. Like, even though at level 100, like, it goes palm and wings for Moogle, but then it'll go claw and fang for Maydeen, so it's basically the same combo, just been upgraded. Likewise, the hammer stamp has also been notably upgraded. At this high levels. So the rotation's mostly the same, it's just upgrades all around. Unexpected damage the first forward. And restores HP of party members. I think that's fine there. That's the big capstone ability. Level 100. Now this is ages away, so I'll worry about that. I should get the full Picto set, I know. I do need to do the caster quest on someone after all, and Picto is most definitely going to be what I use. I'm glad I did go with Reaper, if only thematically, though. Since, you know, bringing death to immortal beings is very fitting for a Reaper to be doing. Funny enough, even after having beaten it, the game, I've noticed most of the memes seem to revolve around the Rite of Ascension storyline. I guess that one was just the most, let's see here, 211. Alright, so it's very close. I guess that's one's just the most, Sorry, I had to sneeze. Hopefully I muted the mic in time. But yeah, I guess that was also where the most personality was shown up. Oh, there it is. Man. Even then, I do have to admit a number of things it was trying didn't stick. Like I said, they tried to keep us in a mystery who Thancred and Urianger were working for, but the end of Endwalker made it clear they're on a faction that would fight us, meaning one of the enemy ones. So unless they wanted to spring a new faction to spring up saying we don't want anyone to win, we'd have to fight. It was very clear it had to be Kana, because Bakul made it very clear he didn't care about anyone that's not a Mamulja, and Jared said he didn't refuse to have any help whatsoever, with the only ones he had being forced on him, so. I guess I should at least go north here and see if it's something good. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna have to teleport all the way up here. That's fine, I figured something like this would be needed. A lot of these areas I know is split in half. Mostly, of course, to split the upper level areas and lower level areas, but also... Actually, I think did I unlock the mount speed increase for this area? I'm pretty sure I actually did. Let's find out. Business has been so-so. Roads are dangerous. We've managed to secure a few new items. Yep, this is it. Okay, that's a nice, notable speed increase. Thank you very much, riding map. I'll check the other areas, but I think this is the only one I've unlocked it for, unfortunately. It's just a shame I unlock it now that I've basically gotten all of them already. I probably should have picked it up when I first arrived. That would have made this a lot more expedient. Oh well. I definitely had best go around here. Ah, there it is. A quarry. Wonder if there'll be a dungeon here later. Oh yeah, as far as the future of Platch storylines, I imagine we're probably going to explore a little more regarding the strange lightning sickness that some of the kids had. It could just be that they're running out of souls, since, you know, that's kind of what their society's all about, but... It's gonna be over here again, isn't it? Whatever. Just straight up south. Not even that many, in fact, huh? Oh, there it is. Alright, now let's just absorb this wind energy. Does not detect, so we're done with this area. Next up... should be easy, then... I was thinking, they all have this many? Huh. I was gonna say, is it always this many? But then I remembered, oh yeah, they probably nerfed the needed to be found ones for the older expansions when the new one came out. Because I remember, I even have my VOD of when I did this when it was relevant. And indeed, there were the full amount here. I guess they must remove half of them for old content so you don't have to worry about wasting time on older expansions. Especially... Alright, so it's gonna be around here somewhere. Ah, there it is. Easy. Didn't know I never got this one before. I guess in case I need to fight. Wow, there's one that close? Huh. Oh yeah, the big train. Well, I did like the big everyone comes together to help situation like in Shadowbringers with Mount Golg. This one felt like it was a bit early because all it was to break open a gate. An important one, mind you, but... I don't know, it felt that was level 97 for the record. The big Mount Golg with everyone coming together, came at level 79 in Shadowbringers, which basically meant it was right at the tail end. So it felt like everything came together a lot more. Here, a bit less so. It's a good trope, don't get me wrong, but... Ooh, east. Yeah, I do like how this desert's different, nobly different from Fanlin. So it doesn't feel like they're repeating too much, unlike with a lot of the early forests. Like, they did try to make the first area swampy to try and make it a bit different, but I still feel like we've had plenty of swamp forest areas. Ah, there it is. This looks like the stump of a giant tree rather than a plateau. Claw in order. I should probably do Fates just to, you know, get progress here, but this level 95, I can't do it as Red Mage. Gonna have to waste the experience and just do it as Picto. It's nice they're doing fate parties, but I've got something important to do here. Other one. There we are, Maydeen. Pretty much just an upgraded Moogle, if we're honest. Southwest, so this way. All the ceruleum. There we are. Alright, we're getting close. We've been gnomed. Oh, it's in the canyon. Looks like it actually might be. So if that's the case, I'm gonna have to go down, aren't I? So, yes, I'm gonna have to go down all this way and then go in. I'm assuming that's an entryway, though, because I can't think of anything else. Out of way here, birdies. You bother me. I knew it. There'd be a mine shaft in here. No, it's a canyon. Yo, a canyon. You'd think I'd have realized that after reading the name. Directly saying canyon in it, but evidently not. Funny how that works. So yeah, the ultimate reason to go through all this is the Aether Current. Oh. The world can change all at once. This place will stand the test of time, as long as there's folk paying their sick to our ancestors, that is. Ah. Huh. Paintings on the wall and such. Neat. If it's north, it might be easier to teleport to the springs. Yeah, the general way this game is set up is that stuff from... Ooh, it is close. Dang, there's a lot of them really close to the city. I guess it's also nice that this area is large and very open, so I don't have to go through twists and turns and canyons. Basically, once you get the mount speed upgrade, that's kind of all you ever needed. Pure West, got it. Cerulean Manala. It's not going to be just out here in the open. So there's got to be at least a rock or something for it to be sitting on. Like one of those, perhaps. Yep. I knew it. As nice as it would be for the Aether Current to just be sitting around in the middle of nowhere. To grab him, it's always something notable. Grab Aether Currents. I should go to one of the others, like Sage or something, to give these to. Then again, Sage I haven't even geared up. It still has some of the early Endwalker gear. That's how bad it is. Well, early endgame Endwalker gear. Oh wow, Picto's still using some of the old stuff? Yeah, once I finish this up, I absolutely need to, absolutely need to just grab the Picto artifact gear. Doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to be better than what I currently have. I do like... The Angel Brush looks pretty nice, but I'm gonna definitely say I really like the Augmented Renaissance Brush. I'm gonna have to put that in the Glamour Dresser to keep for potential glams later. I still need to work out a glam outfit for my Pictomancer. It's nice that I finally managed to put one together for my Reaper, but northeast. Man, that Ceratopraptor was really close to those NPCs. Ah, there it is. I saw it coming into formation. And it's on the pier. I guess it was enjoying the view. As I mentioned, it's nice that the various expansions have not had lookout spots as annoying as the ones from Realm Reborn, since those required not only certain times of day, but also specific weathers on top of that. So you could end up having days at a time. I know FC Mate's even rated an outright a week for once. Oh, there's actually one very close by. Oh no, southeast. You know, I should probably just dive in and swim at this rate then. Like, here's Sage, for example. Haven't played it in ages. The gear is absolutely outdated. Yeah, Moonward. That was the first stuff that dropped that was the first stuff you grinded tomes for, like what we're doing right now. That's how old it is. I mean, it's nice gear, don't get me wrong. It's just, I'd be better off with basically buying stuff from NPCs in Tuliolol. I guess that's kind of the issue with the vertical progression. Your old stuff is never going to last, no matter how relevant it was at the time. Then again, it also doesn't have the flaw. It does mean that anytime there is an update, it has stuff for you to actually care about. Oh, no, there's one right there. I don't even need this. Oh, what a pleasant breeze. Just straight south. So, straight down it is. Sage is probably my favorite healer if you're gonna ask me to pick one, but I'm gonna be blunt and say I'm not really a healer person. I mean, tank... I'm like a Dark Knight. I have the Mandorville weapon and the I got the final 24-player raid gear on it. It is absolutely up to date, reasonably up to date to be using it immediately with Dawntrail. And Gunbreaker, I could do the same as well. So. I mean, I guess everything helps, but... Snack Cat, I see him. Yeah, sorry, I'm just shooting the breeze at this point, because, I've still got a lot of these Aether Currents to find, and I still need to fill the time. Though I am told my voice is relaxing. I guess if it helps people put something in the background while drawing or something, that can work. Alright, let me grab it. Flying potato. That is not a flying Lullafell, I've been lied to. Okay, so it's up here somewhere, probably near one of those cliffs. I don't think I can be on them because I can't actually get on top of them going by that mark. Ah, it's in that little alcove, that little peninsula right there. Peninsula, that's the right word. I guess the big thing about the Dungeons Trials is, would I look forward to seeing them if they showed up on the random roulettes? And I think the answer is definitely going to be yes, because there's a lot of fun stuff to do with those. And I'm glad I went with Trusts, because that showed me a lot of the mechanics directly rather than just getting carried. Because I can tell you right now, if I did the level 99 trial with players, I would have absolutely been carried and not actually learned what the mechanics were. Ah, so this area is complete. Alright, so Aether Currents, what's next? Heritage found. Guess we start at the station. It's the closest one here, after all. Hack the planet. Wonder how long they were waiting to use that one, since this isn't the kind of setting where that would be normal. Automated turrets once used to defend the station malfunction and now firing on everything. The turrets damaged by lightning, others claim bandits hacked their way in the cores and gave them orders. All that can be agreed on is they need to be destroyed. Ooh, just straight north. Okay, sounds good to me. Sadly, the station... Oh, right. The station has no facilities here because, well, it had an aetherite because it makes sense, story-wise, for there to be one there. It was a major place before, you know, the dome. On that note, I did look up the lore for it. So yeah, this had... The reflection we went to was the 12th, one destroyed by lightning and reunited with the source. Alexandria just happened to manage to avoid it thanks to... well, Sphene, to be blunt. Oh, it's on the tracks, isn't it? Yeah, it's on the... No, it's right there. Okay, good. Phew, that would have been very annoying. Without defective sentries to keep them. Okay, the ravenous cold-lips and return of thunder yards to heed. Here we are. I'm gonna have to go all the way around for this. Electric potential. Oh yeah, this is where she fought that beast in our place. Alright, let's go ahead and unlock this XP for Sage. Hello, welcome to the stream. Stop that. I'm trying to just relax and grab the currents. I'm not doing any of the quests for now. I'm just doing the, Okay, so it's up there. Yeah. I'm not doing any of the quests right now. I'm just doing the ones in the field, since those are actually going to take some work to find. The quests are usually either just going to be a watch cutscene set up for something, or just the usual MMO quest of give me 20 a bear claws or shark teeth. Southwest. There. I will say I've also noticed that in the EX dungeons, basically even if you're going wall-to-wall pulling, there's usually at least one really beefy enemy among them. Not really a mini-boss per se, but more of a... I've seen someone in chat called a lieutenant enemy, where they... I'm not sure what that's all about, but yeah, basically it's really beefy. I don't mind it when they're like the Calcabrina, because those actually have some mechanics that I need to pay attention to. But it is a little boring with like the elephant in that same dungeon, where it doesn't really do anything special, it's just an HP sponge. So all it really does is make me use my single target rotation instead of my AoE one. Have you done? Yeah, I've done both of the EX dungeons, Ellie, don't worry. I'm genuinely surprised they would reuse the Hades model for that clown. The rig. Is not doing anything. South. Kill you. Here, west. Alright. Time for the fun one. Wee splat. Didn't know you wanted to play so much, Ellie. Or did you just want to be on stream? Yeah, I went with him earlier with a friend of mine. In fact, he's the same friend who introduced me to the game to begin with. He mains Paladin. He mains Paladin in every game where he could possibly main Paladin. Oh, of course. Yeah, so I didn't need to drop down, as it turns out. Of course these Aether Currents would do this to me. Why wouldn't they? Just struggling character design. Yeah, I know how that can be rough. Even when I was doing my first tabletop character, I wasn't sure. I ended up reusing a lot of stuff from previous characters I've made entirely because I had no better ideas. Don't get me wrong, I think I've made them quite distinct from the ones I based them off of to begin with, but sometimes you find inspiration in weird places. Ray Banner is the 9th, so tomorrow. Tonight, depending on time zone actually, but yeah. Northwest, so this way. Oh, I see. It's across the way, isn't it? There's no aetherite over there, so I'm gonna have to be the very long walk. Yeah, I was actually thinking about doing the Ray stages tonight, but they won't. Obviously, they didn't drop in time. I might do them later this week. We'll see. But next time I stream, it's gonna be part of my team's multiplayer stream. So we're still gonna go through Elden Ring, and I'm sure you can enjoy us dying horribly there. And of course, I don't stream Wednesday. Oh. Don't care for Elden Ring. Oh, that's okay. From what we've been seeing, the new Elden Ring doesn't really care for you, care for us, care for people either. I suppose it was too much to ask the game to let me dive into there and swim. Whee, sploosh, sploosh. Boring to watch. Well, with a game like that, it's kind of like any. I'm kind of trying to think comparison. I guess it could be considered an open world Metroidvania of sorts. Yeah, they're not letting me go for a swim. I guess I'll just go on the Goku cloud for a bit. I do appreciate that they made references to Final Fantasy IX, but the final boss wasn't, you know, they didn't make the actual appearances of Garnet, Brani, however you pronounce her name, the queen's name, Final Fantasy IX, and all that. They're inspired by these characters, but it's not actually them, which I prefer doing that over, like, Zeroma showing up directly. I won't say it didn't make sense or it didn't work out, it just, I don't know, I just kind of prefer Northwest. Oh, so we're here, actually? Oh, just west. Ah, there it is. Don't know how I missed it. I've not, oh no, I only went this area on the lower spot there. Suck this up. Oh, you dick. Alright, let's grab this current here. Southeast. I will say it does genuinely feel pretty good to have 3 EX roulette dungeons again, as opposed to 2 it's been for a couple expansions now. I just hope, and if they could have more of those, whatever they're called, the big beefy enemies among the big pulls when you do the wall-to-wall pulls here. I hope they at least make it interesting. More like the Calcabrina ones, than less like that big elephant one, I'd say. I see you've unlocked flight. Unfortunately, it's gonna be very easy to outrun me. It was simply because I don't have any of the movement speed unlocks for this area. Oh, looks like you pissed off the elephant. That's what you get for pissing off elephants. Southeast, so down here, I guess. Electrope strike. Now, I was worried there's going to be too many Aetherites to attune to in all these areas, but they're still particularly huge. They still require a decent amount of traversal. So it's not like the Realm Reborn ones where, you know, it's pretty easy to go anywhere. Cacti. I guess so this is still the desert biome, regardless of how much the crew has been... How much, this was altered. Alright, it's definitely got to be somewhere around here. I should probably mend while I'm here. Try to keep some good variety in my mounts among all the jobs I play. Southeast. Should be close by here. I just have to pay attention to an outcrop, a rock, something make it stand out. Not gonna be bothering with those guys yet. Here we are. I do admit I'm never sure what games I stream that are actually going to be entertaining to watch. Oh, there it is. Even this one, I wasn't sure if people would watch it because, you know, it's just me running around in circles for a couple hours as I try to collect all the items. But I've had a decent amount of people show up at least, so hopefully it's interesting. It's also why I kind of hesitated to do grinds, but then I went ahead and streamed myself grinding Pictomancer up to 90 so I could do the content with it. I mean, I didn't end up doing so, but I'm glad I did. Have to hit 100 eventually. Especially since, unlike Viper, which everyone says they love it, but also tells me that it takes until level 90 to get fun, so that's a little, that's something to be wary of. But, yeah, unlike, Here we are. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, Pictomancer has their main rotation from the start, while Viper is much more of a late bloomer. More of the strange submerged skyline. Alright, let's get this unlocked here. I have to be wary because if something attacks me, I will die. These are all basically level 100 enemies, so... Southwest. Oh, it's right here. Somewhere. Yeah, everyone was surprised after playing through Final Fantasy IX, I could never forget the general aesthetic. Final Fantasy IX was definitely intended as a return to form after a lot of the more sci-fi or modern fantasies the others were. No more nearby currents. Only one area for them left then. This one's gonna be very annoying to do, so it's definitely good that I left it for last. Because this is gonna otherwise be a complete pain. There we are. Oh no, the snake got her. Well, that's what you get for hanging around the boar stream, I guess. There are dangers to being around here. You want flight. To unlock flight. That's fine. I went in here knowing it would be a bit of a pain. Yeah, oh crap, I can't get hit by anything here. Because level 100 enemies on level 90 is going to get me murdered. Oh. There we are. Perplexing puzzles and endless fun. Yeah, we just have to do these quests to make sure their spirits move on, I guess. Acro Cat. I did not know these existed. They're adorable. I love them. Oh, I just came here to turn in the quest, but I guess we can grab the Aether Current while we're here. Attuning, 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 attuning. Since these areas are directly locked off from one another, I need to be sure to get each one. Okay, northeast. Actually, let's go this here. Oh, cutscene. Well. You're back. Was the dead walk as haunting as we expected? About that. Let me get this straight. You met a disturbed mascot, attended a twisted tea party, assaulted by a big sky wheel merry-go-round, then fought for your life in a haunted house. The Endless House, to be exact. And my suspicions were confirmed. In the days when Dreamborough yet flourished, the Endless House often plays with volunteers from the audience. Those volunteers would be cast the story's heroes and tasked with rescuing a captive princess, from the Lord of Nightmares. That sounds awfully similar to Coda's experience. Precisely. Thus, I believe the monstrous residents were given life by the lingering memories of the Endless, who once called it home. And as its name implied, the district was built for the Endless who loved to dream. The theme park itself gained a mind of its own over the years. Perhaps it too harbored hopes the hero would grant its former citizens' final wish for freedom, for home. So as I understand it, when Queen's Fiend and Zoologia first attempted interdimensional fusion, one of the few areas with living memory suddenly vanished the rift. A few areas vanished within the rift, including Dreamborough. And as the Endless souls began to fade, their memories and desires fused the very essence of their home to turn into what is now. Considering the timing, we can assume the district's reconnection is due to Her Majesty's last attempt at fusion. With the Traumery gone, those lost souls will finally be able to rest in peace. I'm not certain, but the rift did close upon Coda's return. I can only hope your hypothesis is truth and their role in the hollow performance has concluded. As has mine, I suspect, long have I served as a guide, eager to bring joy to every visitor who passed through living Murray's golden gates. But I now see why I remained. I was meant to perform this final act of guidance, to lead you both to these lost dreamers. I do not wish to dampen the mood, so I'll take my leave, but I could not be prouder to serve my fellow citizens. I could not be happier that you were my final guests. Farewell, my friends, and thank you. Truly. I pity him, but I think it's best to let him go. He has to move on like everyone else, after all. We should return. Your good deeds will not go unrewarded. I'll meet you back there. My real self this time. Northeast, so near the Proto-Alexandria Castle. It's so depressing to see everything dead and down, but who knows, maybe there'll be a tribal quest to restore it, like what happened to Ultima Thule. It could also be the focus the main quest for the patch storyline. They've got a few options, to be sure. Alright, so east. There we are. So yeah, it's in the castle grounds. Yeah, I don't know why when I saw that Kachua was using her new a new model that they wouldn't reuse it for something else. I should have realized we're gonna be seeing it for a while. They're quite frugal with using these rigs, but I guess to be fair, there's nothing wrong with that. I remember with early Smash Bros, I didn't like clones because it felt like they had replaced, they could have been replaced with a completely new character, but, well, the way things go now, basically, if they hadn't used the clones, there'd be just that many less characters, not if there's 3 clones, removing the clones wouldn't result in 3 completely alternate characters, there'd be 3 less characters completely. East, huh? Ah, there it is, I see it. It's important to be very frugal with your assets, especially for a game that's going to be constantly getting updates like this. Especially since, I will say it's a bit disappointing that the bosses weren't important like they were in Endwalker and Shadowbringers. The Shadowbringers, they were dungeon bosses were all Light Wardens, so they were all very important within the story lore. And likewise, Endwalker had all of them, from the Mega Sixers to Anima, all very relevant as well. Here it feels like they're filler again. To the west. Which is a bit of a shame, honestly. Oh man, all this... Nobody likes server shutdown day, but it has to happen. Oh boy, living liquids. Wandering foul fluid. Dangerous organisms have wandered. Exterminate the menace before they lay waste to their surroundings. Time to do the red mage thing and open a fight with my strongest move. There we go. This is the one area I basically didn't do any fates in, so I definitely need to keep going here. There we are. Bonkies complete. Fate complete. I'll see you later, Emma. Thanks for stopping by. Ah, good. It's very close. This is definitely an area I probably should have explored more, if we're honest, but at the same time... Well, I have noticed... Well, don't think I didn't notice that it's impossible to unlock flight before you destroy it, before you turn into a lifeless husk. It is impossible to fly over it while it's still active and beautiful. It's behind the house. Oh, there it is. Simulated rage. Alright, there we are. Aha. West. That's in the water area, it would seem. Gonna have to warp there then. Next swamp here, I should talk about it from what is the main story. Well, I did like the Namika storyline. That's because she was present for pretty much the entire story. She appeared at the start as one of Woklamat's single-digit supporters, and then she arrived again the mid-levels for the filler arc, where we helped her out with the ring, and then she was the one who showed us what happens to those who die there. So it was a pretty big deal to see her again after all that. Sadly, the same cannot be said about Kral's parents. Actually, I could say a lot on that, because the whole reason Kral came with us in the first place was to investigate what was this, to find out something about her past, or meet her parents, or whatever. So it seems a little goofy that we just get a very short quest line of them in the fire area when we meet. I mean, it's also a shame she didn't explain the truth behind the calamities, since that kind of explains everything that goes on. That kind of explains everything that went on and what caused the lightning disaster, what caused the dimensional issue, and all that, but I can kind of understand wanting to keep that short. But at the same time, like I said, it didn't give enough time to breathe, given... Actually, I think I could probably complain that Kral's storyline in the general sense was pretty brushed over. Oh, there it is. Because first, she comes to learn about the Golden City, but obviously Galul couldn't tell her about it because that's tied to the Ascension quest. And when afterward she attended, but that was entirely off-screen, and she only tells us about it later. And I think that ties into the next one, actually, because we do learn that what's her earring, and I think I even complained when I was streaming out that we finally meet her and she doesn't have any ability to tell us what was on it. And now I know why. It's because that was information the player couldn't be allowed to have until after Sphene had escaped. Because the point is, we need Sphene to leave and close the gate to make the player wonder, oh man, how are we going to do that? So that we could then surprise with, turns out we had a key to the back door the whole time. Don't get wrong, it absolutely makes sense her parents would give her a key to get back in case they solve whatever problem and get back to her. Or they find a solution and or whatever, so... But... I guess it just feels kind of overlooked. Ah, more spirits. I think that might actually be in the wind area. Alrighty, we'll go there. But yeah, I appreciated Kral having a return to her parents, but I didn't cry or anything there because we barely got any time to know them, so we couldn't really appreciate the reunion. Not to mention they had barely been touched upon, despite Kral's subplot is the entire reason she went with us, to figure out the truth behind the letter, the earring, and the Golden City. With her parents, she's just got a really quick reunion, and with the earring, she couldn't tell us about it. The plot made sure she couldn't tell us about it until we'd already seen the gate closed, so that we could wonder how we're going to fix everything. And, yeah. And she, of course, yeah, and learning about the Golden City itself, she does mention she was with the meeting about it later, but it's something she only told us about it after we'd already done the filler arc. So it basically just felt like we were held. It felt like her story was basically held back on until it was convenient for the plot to be doing so. And I get to a degree, this is required by the situation. Right, they don't want me to go down and go splat. Even though I've been doing that this whole time. So yeah, I did almost cry at the Namika scene, because that one actually was worked towards and had a payoff to something that the whole expansion had been building towards, but Kral's parents, despite being the whole reason she became a Pictomancer to come and help us with in the first place, they weren't real relevant until pull the plot to decided, okay, we'll need you now. Like I said, they had to hold back on the player can't know this here, so it's not going to come up until this point. There we go. Which I've seen more, which to be fair, I have seen much more egregious cases. Like, get me started on the Tales of games where the characters will go, this is not, where they go, wait, is that, it's nothing, or, now I'll tell you later. Yeah, they're going to tell you later after everything, everything has gone to shit and it all gets blamed on you for no other reason than you weren't told something that could have avoided all that. Now that's the most egregious ever. But just because it's not as bad as the worst doesn't mean it isn't a problem. Because, well, it doesn't make sense to an extent. The characters won't share everything immediately. It is a bit of a problem when it causes a situation to be far worse than it absolutely could have been. Unlost Century. Yeah, I've not done any fates in this area, so I kind of need to go out of my way to do some of these. Not all of them, but some. The sudden emergence of foraging organisms above the floor, this district at risk. We require assistance in gathering seeds of rare specimens before they are eaten to extinction. Fellow assisted, please bring any seeds to me. I require assistance to gather seeds before they are consumed. I guess if I put these here, give this guy, people will know, okay, so they're working on this. However, the number is insufficient. Rare plant seed. However, the number is insufficient to regrow what's been lost. Your further assistance is kindly requested. Number is still insufficient. Might as well gather more of these. Seeds of tomorrow. Leaf cutter. Probably needs 20 in order to count this complete. So we'll go ahead and grab these. Confirming your access, however, the number is insufficient. Assistance required. I recovered enough seeds to ensure survival. However, if a surplus is preferable, so I suggest you bring any more. Confirming seeds, your assistance is appreciated. Oh, that's in that area. Deja vu for the carnival dungeon. Fell a dream of something similar. Even the teacup felt similar. Maybe I'm crazy. Hard to say. I think I mentioned when doing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot that I had a dream of doing about solving Majin Buu's problem exactly the same way Mr. Satan did, by befriending him. I know it's easy to say that now that we all know that's how it happened, but I swear I don't know how it happened. Southwest, so yeah, it's in this area here. So yeah, it's gonna be along the line and over here. We just have to be very careful. Aga voids. Is it behind the pillar? It is not behind the pillar. there it is. Darn, that wasn't long enough to leash it. Northeast. So this way. Makes sense, the most ether currents would be in the wind section. Either that or there was a decent amount of the others that I already got while I was doing the story. I know I got a bunch during fire, simply because I didn't want to have to go back to the fire area. The museum, while a nice Final Fantasy IX reference, still required going in a lot of weird places. And also know some people were confused about Kryle's origins. Apparently the Lalafels were from the Source, who then got teleported to the 12th, and then got transported back to the Source again, which is really confusing. I can get that. And that one's kind of because they had to explain why Stola wouldn't notice her ether being less dense, so they couldn't have her just be from the 12th, from the first place. Shadowbringers made it very clear that Shtola's abilities to judge ether density. Oh, this isn't the fire area, actually. Huh. But yeah. Shadowbringers made it clear the Shtola's ability to not only see ether, but also the ether density was a huge plot point. So they needed to explain why she wouldn't have mentioned that sooner, because they can't go, oh, by the way, you never knew that Kryle was less dense. I thought you all knew, or something. That would have been too much. So yeah, their hands were a bit tied in that aspect. Right, I'm probably gonna want to go up for this one. Oh, I can't. Huh, that's a funny place for an invisible wall. Usually when they have an invisible wall, they have a clear, this is why you can't go in this area direction, but there isn't here. Oh, I get it. It's because this entire area was submerged in lava. So you weren't allowed to go into it for maximum immersion, even though they all knew the lava was fake. Shame we never got to fight in the arena, but I imagine that's by design. Also, they intend to do the one in Solution 9, if I had to guess. Aether current time, there we are. Absorb, 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 absorb. There we are. Compass does not detect. That is all the Aether currents in all the areas. I still need to do the quest, but I can do that on my own time, so that's basically just some reading and such, some of which will be interesting, some of which won't. I should probably have also put a easy teleport area in Solution 9, because I get the sense that's where all the tome exchange stuff is gonna be. Actually, let's test it. Nexus Arcade. Merchant and Mender. I forgot. Did doing one of the fates say that it's provided some level of stability? Because if so, that is highly depressing. I'm not gonna lie there. Yeah, I need to get the Picto stuff for the purposes of the job quests. Yeah, Tomestone Exchange, Miscellany. Totem Gear. Huh, so the weapon decided to make the weapons based on Villargamanda then. Sky Ruin. Let's see what these look like. What's the... You know, let's check what the brush looks like. Actually looks pretty nice. Oh, but right, the Reaper Scythe. Let's see how the Reaper Scythe looks. That's okay. Not the worst I've seen, not the best either. Tomestone Exchange. Aesthetics. Neo. Round brush. That's not a very round brush. Canister. Business here has never been better, and our customers can be happier. I've no doubt Queen's Fiend would be glad to see what's become of us. Alright, so yeah, this is the big tombstone place. Which I guess makes sense. This is the most advanced stuff we have here. Air Wheeler. Healer. Oh, there's a lookout spot here. Next is Arcade. It's filled with a variety of shops selling everything from food, daily necessities, personal vehicles. With so many floors and stores to lose oneself in, it's jokingly remarked as the Lost Children desk is the busiest place in the entire arcade. I'm waiting to deliver at the moment. The courier must have been waylaid. I hate to turn you away, but you have to give me time to prepare. Yeah, hard to believe one change really got my Manderville Scythe to get my look together. That being just applying the pearl white dye to the set. It turns out that I missed a lot of speculation the Manderville weapons were somehow connected to Solution 9 after Solution 9 was revealed. Given I originally thought the invaders were tied in some fashion, hence why I thought maybe they were aliens to begin with, it was certainly a surprise, that's for sure. Well done. With the dead walk anomaly taken care of, Oblivion can return to its regular days of surveying living memory. We'll have to decide how carefully how to handle the former haven, but I know one thing for sure, it's our duty to uncover the mysteries. What was made for, what horrors kept it running, so we never repeat those mistakes. I like to think that the lost souls would have won as well. It's drive me forward. Safe travels out there. I guess the totally not Geralt guy is going to be used for the crafting relics like the one in Shadowbringers was. Works well to me, I think. Alright, let's get Picto over here. A free extra sprint is kind of nice, honestly. And we'll go to the armor and grab the Picto armor, because I'm gonna need that. Magical range DPS. Pictomancer's Turban. Pictomancer's Bolero. Pictomancer Armlets. Pictomancer's Sariel. Pictomancer's Crocs. Here we are. And there we are. I don't mind when gear changes a bit based upon whether the player character is male or female, but I am a bit disappointed when, like, the female Picto outfit bears the midriff, but the male's one doesn't. I'm not sure if I'd have worn either way, but it does feel like an inconsistency for absolutely no good reason. Regardless. EX done, I just need to do the quests here, so... It's a bit of a shorter night compared to how long I've been doing, but you know what? I think I could use a shorter night after everything we've done. This expansion may have left me with a lot of mixed feelings, but I do think my opinion over it overall is pretty good. Then again, I'm also someone who has a higher opinion of Stormblood than most do, so maybe I just don't think the game has a terrible expansion yet. But yeah, I do think people who are bothered or upset are have very valid opinions here. Or make no mistake, that's why I keep repeating it. Partially also to remind myself that yes, it is, even if they're taken to silly extremes. But hey, at least that means something to talk about and something to discuss here. Because even now, there's somebody who still insists it's bad, but it's not as bad as Stormblood stuff, and that's, I guess that's the end of the day, that's the important thing. What matters is people are still having discussions. Huh, Is it just me or the chair seat cushions vanishing? Weird. I'll have to look into that weirdness later. But yeah. But it makes sense. The expansion dropped. Everyone's finished as their emotions at their highest. Like I did, even when I dropped, even when Endwalker dropped and I completed that, I considered that the straight up best one, even better than Shadowbringers. Which, looking back, I don't know honestly. But then again, I guess it's important to consider both the story and gameplay as well, because, well, the healers will probably tell you that Shadowbringers had a few things laying down. So, there's definitely more to it than just the story, for better or for worse. Not to say it's something to not care about, but you know what I mean. I'm not very good at articulating. And rest assured, I'm gonna do the job, the role quests eventually. I'll even do them on stream. But I'm going to be taking my time with that. I don't need to rush since I'm not as worried about spoilers for those as I am spoilers for the main story. And now that I've beaten it, I don't have to worry. Right. Let's see here. Let's do the idle here. Alrighty. Well, until next time, thank you for watching. Hope you had a good time, and I'll see you later.